Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships and Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Nagato. That's right. You guys have asked for it. You guys said, "Hey Spartan, Nagato got a buff. Please play the Nagato. I want to see what you think about it." So, without further ado, I give you Nagato. Now, our commander build is Takeo Takagi with Pala de Revel, Azure Lane Scharnhorst as our commander inspirations. As always, if you don't have Azure Lane Scharnhorst and you want to play like free to play, then use Andrew Cunningham or whatever you decide is best for the second inspiration. We are running Flammable Cannoneer, Gyrating Drill Bits, Marksmanship, and Reaching Out XXL with Will to Rebuild as our legendary perk. For the ship loadout, we've got Aiming Systems Mod 1, we got Steering Gears Mod 2, and we've got the Concealment System Mod. Okay, we are fully upgraded, and we have the spotter plane. We are not running a flag, though we should definitely put our alpha test flag back on there. But the camo we're running is for better detectability and better incoming fire dispersion. Okay, for survivability, we have 65,000 hit points with a 25% torpedo damage reduction. Artillery, you have 410mm third-year type guns. You get 8 of those in a 4x2 configuration. You get 18.4 kilometers range with a 27.4 second reload and a 34 second 180 degree turn time. HE shells maximum damage 6,500 with a 30% chance to set fires. AP shell maximum damage is 13,860. Your secondaries, you get 127mm Type 89A1s. You get 8 of those, firing out to 5.2 kilometers and reloading in 5 seconds. They fire HE with a maximum damage of 2,100 and an 8% chance to set fires. Then you have the 140mm third-year types that you have 18 of, reaching out to 5.2 kilometers, reloading in 8 seconds, and have AP firing a maximum shell damage of 2,700. AA Defense, you have 25mm Type 96 Mod 1s. You get 24 of those, doing 43 damage per second, reaching out to 3.1 kilometers. 25mm Type 96 Mod 1s, you get 24 of those, reaching out to 3.1 kilometers and doing 60 damage per second. Then you have the 25mm Type 96 Mod 1s that you get 14 and 14 is 28 and 14 would be 42. 42 of those. Reaching out to 3.1 kilometers and doing 85 damage per second. And then the 127mm Type 89A1s, you get 8 of those, doing 40 damage per second, reaching out to 5 kilometers. For maneuverability, she's actually not that great. Maximum speed only 23.4 knots, which I believe is slower than the North Carolina, but is roughly in that neighborhood. Okay. 770-meter turning circles, not bad, and the rudder shift times also not bad for a battleship at 11 seconds. But in terms of top speed, she always feels kind of slow. Concealment, detectability by sea is 12.8, detectability by air is 10.7, 2 is always guaranteed, and the 14.4 kilometer smoke firing penalty. For armor, this is where the ship gets into trouble. You have the 25mm bow that all the Tier 5 and Tier 6 battleships have, so that's not that big a deal, other than the fact that literally everything pretty much at Tier 6 and 7 overmatch you, so keep that in mind. Now, the armor on the side looks worse than it is because it's an outer layer of torque protection, so if we show you that, you can see it's 25mm of side plating, but that's not the whole story. There's actually the other armor underneath it too, the Citadel armor. And it is kind of an odd little configuration for it's kind of a turtleback, but it's not really a turtleback. It's weird. But yeah, it's got a lot of armor there, but it's got a massive Citadel that goes way above the waterline. So if we get rid of that, well, actually the Citadel itself doesn't go too far above the waterline, but the turtleback does. And like I said, it is technically a turtleback, but it's not quite as effective of a turtleback as, say, the Germans have. Okay, so keep that in mind. You go broadside in this thing to the wrong battleship, you're going to feel it. Okay? But yeah, with that being said, let's take a look at her. Big guns, armed with the high caliber main battery guns. The highest caliber gun at the tier, 410mm guns. You get tough, above average base HP rating, and then slow, below average maximum movement speed. Yeah, that's kind of where I was talking about. Nagato had long remained the most powerful warship in the Imperial Japanese Navy. She had good armor and carried 410mm main battery guns. In the 1930s, the ship was modernized to receive more powerful torpedo protection. She entered service in 1920, and there were 2 of them in the series. So let's take a look at her. I know the camo doesn't do the ship too much justice, but honestly, it's a pretty iconic ship. It's hard not to like the Nagato, or the Nagato, depending on who you talk to. But yeah, I really do like the Nagato. It's a good ship. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's better than it has been up until the like recent buff. So I will say that it is not bad to take out. So with that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so we're gonna be on Warrior's Path, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is the best match I've ever played in a Nagato. I'm not gonna. It is ridiculous. I end up carrying this team so ridiculously hard, it's pathetic. But, yeah, it's going to be a banger, guys. If you guys have ever wanted to see a banger Nagato or Nagato replay, this one is the one. It's the best that I've done in the thing, even before it was nerfed. Like, I didn't have games like this. So, without further ado, we're going to absolutely tear this lobby apart. And hopefully you guys are ready. It's going to be a good one. So, yeah, we're going to push up. I spawned mid. And we're going to get a good shot early at a broadside Leon, who's just sitting still broadside. And again, this is something that you've got to be aware of, especially nowadays with concealed battleships. You should not be just sitting still in your spawn thinking you're safe. If you get spotted, you're going to get shot. And on maps like this, where the teams are so spread out and the map is so flat, it's kind of one of those matches where you know there are going to be crossfires. So you have to play as such. Now, I push in initially, and then I'm going to make my turn to the left because, again, I don't know where the destroyers are. There are 3 of them in this match. I don't know exactly where they're going to be. I don't want to get located right away because then people start shooting me. And I personally like to be the first one to shoot. That's just the way I like to do things. I don't like to be spotted first. I like to be the first guy to, like, see a ship, get a shot off, and preferably not be spotted at all. But that's what's going to happen in this first one. Our destroyer that spawns mid does the right thing. He charges forward, he gets out there, he spots the enemy ships. Now right off the bat, Leon is here. I'm looking at him. I don't have a shot. The mountain is in the way. We can't lob that. However, if we're patient, you can see he's just creeping. He's basically stationary. He's like in quarter speed. He ain't going anywhere. So we're going to place the shot around his first turret and then see him coast into this. And remember, we took the shot, we were behind the island, and we did not get detected. And pow! Starting it off with a 15,000 damage non-citadel salvo. You'll love to see it. Now, the Mayhem gets spotted. We don't actually have a shot at him. And, so we can't do anything there. Leon's like, oh my god, I don't know what hit me, but it hurt. And so he starts going forward, and then I'm going to be able to, about this time, come around the corner. I know he's going to start to turn out, so we're going to aim a little bit high off the waterline, and we're going to take that shot. He's not turning all the way out. He hasn't committed to his turn, so we have pretty good hopes for this shot. And yeah, we hit him, and we get a Citadel, and that takes us up to 34,000 damage already. Now, here's the funny thing. What if I told you that our Benson just got torped to death by a Mayhem? And that Leon that we just took over 30,000 damage off of at the beginning of the match is going to survive until the very end of the match. Why? Because I don't have teammates that are capable of thinking and breathing at the same time, with the exception of the remaining 2 destroyers who are actually going to do something. I don't know what this... Actually, I take that back. They are going to, later in the match, do something. Early in the match, they don't really do a whole lot of good. Now, this York has no idea I'm here, but the York has already seen multiple battleships. Now, York slowed down, dodged the first salvos from everybody, so that allows me to get an easy shot in, and I'm going to pop this guy. Boom! Right there. 4 overpins. I was hoping for the Dev Strike, not going to lie. That was so beautifully placed that guy's lucky to be alive. A York usually doesn't get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to a battleship shooting at his broadside. He does start to turn away, however, and unfortunately for him, that's not going to go in his favor as the Nelson does not struggle to Citadel. Now, New Mexico's sailing flat broadside to us. We'll take that shot every time. Go ahead, give me that. And just like that, we're already at 75,000 damage done. And this is what you have to worry about in the Nagato. Like, if you come up against a Nagato that knows what he's doing, who's doing what I'm calling the Dreadnought Shuffle, where you go bow in, you tank damage, and then you turn out to get your full broadside in, that is where this ship is at its strength. Now, here we don't actually have a shot. The enemy... oh, I forget what it is. I think it's Oland. But the enemy destroyer is right out in front of us. And instead of our Vesteras actually doing his job and trying to find the destroyer, he's actually just going to run behind us and run away. He keeps dropping torpedoes. He does actually get torps on the New Mexico here, even though it wasn't really needed. Ishmael, did you see what he did there? He was in reverse. We take a shot at him. He starts going forward. He's a propulsion mod battleship player. So we're going to have to keep that in mind next time we catch him in that sort of a situation. Now, our destroyer does manage to hit the New Mexico and take him out, even though, again, wasn't really necessary. Now here, I should have... Once I saw the torpedoes go past, I should have made my turn immediately to the inside. And I'll explain why. Because when I push around the outside of this island, you can see there's the torpedoes. I see them. They're completely away from me. They're going towards my teammates, or he thought that I was going to turn inside that island. But I should have, at this point, turned inside the island, because I put myself out here on an island all by myself, essentially. Now, obviously, the destroyer's still in the cap. We know that. So I'm anticipating a shot on a destroyer here, but I only have AP loaded because, I mean, I'm not switching to HE just for a potential shot at a destroyer. If I know I'm going to get to shoot a destroyer, maybe. But here, he does actually get spotted, and he's kind of going away from us, so we place the shot. We wait for him to turn, and then he kind of jukes back, so we have to place a couple of shots back out in front. And, of course, Nagato being Nagato, it decides at that moment that it doesn't want to hit the destroyer. So we get a real unfortunate roll there. Now, Ishmael out here is actually going to be kind of a pain in our neck. And he's going to be a problem for us because I can't chase a destroyer in a Nagato. Okay, I already said this thing's slow. You also have a Scharnhorst coming over spraying HE at me. So I just don't want to sit out here. We got a destroyer, we got an Ishmael, and we got a freaking Scharnhorst all waiting to tear me up. And where is my team? They're still in the back. I don't know what they're doing. So we're not going to count on our teammates here. We're going to make sure that we're in position to do everything that we need to do to win this match, including capturing bases. So we stay in the cap. We end up getting reset right there, but we are going to get the assist cap for this base and finally get this done. Then we're going to head to the inside. Now, obviously, we see torpedoes coming. We slow down. We turn all the way out. And again, this is the problem with having the destroyer out here and nothing to counter him. I got a cruiser behind me. I got a destroyer out here behind me who could go out and find this guy, but none of them want to do their job. They want to just sit next to you and watch you do things. So we're forced broadside to two battleships. One of them shooting HE, but the other one is not. And the Ishmael here is going to get the luckiest freaking salvos I've ever seen out of an Ishmael at range. Like, good lord, man. I wish I could get my Ishmael to hit that many times at 15 or 16 kilometers. Like, good lord. Like, that doesn't happen. But he gets a good salvo. I actually got a Citadel on us, which, like I said, this thing's known for. Nagatos are known for giving up Citadels. It's just kind of what they do. So you got to be careful. It's kind of like a battle cruiser. It has not as good armor as you would like, but it's decently agile for a battleship. And when it behaves like it is in this game, like, you can't really argue with the guns. The firepower is nasty. These 410mm guns are nasty. And we're already over 111,000 damage. But notice I'm not just, you know, chasing those guys off the map. Why? Because the enemy controls two caps. We have to flip those caps, or at least one of them, and control it. That way we win this match. You have to play to win, guys. You can't just chase damage. You can't chase kites. I say it a million times. Our Vesteras actually just comes in and manages to clean up the mayhem that was sitting here in the middle of the map. So thanks for that. And he's also going to play a vital role in, him and an Algeria, I think, that's behind me, are going to play a vital role in finally getting rid of the other destroyers later as well. I say other destroyers. They're not going to get rid of the one destroyer that's out here on the left, but they are going to get rid of the Gajimata. But we're going to push up here. We're going to try to get some shots. We got the Ishmael out here. We got the Scharnhorst. And we got no shot because we can't shoot over the island. Now, the Algeria, I believe, is about to take a shot over Mount Everest here. or at least try. He gets a couple of shots maybe over. I can't really tell. I know a lot of those hit the island, but you can see we're lining up the Scharnhorst here. We've got a beautiful look. He's angled slightly away, but it doesn't matter because that much broadside on a 410 millimeter gun is going to hurt if we can hit him, and those look beautiful. Hit a little too far to the back, so we get an overpin there as well. But Ishmael has made a critical error. Remember what I said earlier. We've already seen him do this once. He's reversing. He's a propulsion mod battleship. So we know he's changing course. We know he's going to go forward. We place the shot where we think it's going to need to be. We take the shot. You can see everybody else missing. And look at that flat. And I knew he was dead from the moment I launched that. He's done. There's no getting away from that. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You're gone. All right? As T-Bull would say, he gone. There is no way he gets away with that. Like I said, you've got to be unpredictable. If you're going to do stuff like that, you have got to change it up. If you do the same thing to me twice or 3 times in a row, I will eventually adjust and you're not going to have a good time. But just like that, we're up to 170,000 damage. Now we're looking at, can we break a 200k game? Now remember, we had a whole team behind us, but that whole team has really done nothing in terms of damage. They really haven't, especially the battleships. They've taken hits and taken damage, but they haven't really dished any out, which is fine with me because it allows me to get even more. And this Scharnhorst still sailing broadside, so we're going to go ahead and pop another one out there for him. Now look ahead. We've got the Leon that we hit at the beginning of the match over there. We have a cruiser that we don't know what it is, and we have the Gajimata on our right front. Now the cruiser ends up being a Fiji, so that's like best case scenario, and you can see I'm like, okay, well, Scharnhorst is officially outside of where I need to be shooting, so I need to focus the guys that are much closer, much bigger threat to us capturing this base. We actually got it captured, so don't have to worry about that, and we managed to get the assist cap on the other base. Didn't get the assist cap on this base for some reason, but I thought we were going to get an assist cap here. But Leon is just... he's doing exactly what he did at the beginning of the match, and this man is lucky to not be removed right here. I wish that I could get as lucky as some of these people get. Now you can see with the cruiser and the destroyer both pushing out onto this Gajimata, I felt pretty confident they were going to be able to kill him. So I felt really good about that. Fiji's behind an island, so I don't have to worry about him. I'm keeping my bow towards the torpedo threat just in case I need to thread the needle. And this Leon is actually like, oh my god, the guy that hit me at the beginning of the match is back. I think I should start moving. You're a little late for that, sunshine. And I thought this guy was dead at this point. Like, he deserves it. He should be dead here. But he does get a full salvo of 16 guns towards me, so I slow down and get to play a little bit of chicken myself. He survives that shot, and that puts us over 200,000 damage, folks. That's crazy. 200,000 damage in a Nagato. I haven't seen those numbers ever. Ever. I've done 150k plus, but I've never broken 200k in a Nagato until now. So we're having one of those special types of games. Now, the Skane over there, that's what it was. The Skane over there on the other side, it manages to sink the Nelson, which just goes to show you that you don't chase the destroyers, man. That Nelson played around and just ended up eating too much. Now, here we're looking for the Fiji. Unable to get the Fiji, unfortunately, because of the island. So we're going to try to push out, get around that island, get into a position where we could shoot him. And then I think we're going to also get forced into shooting the Leon one more time on the backside of this island. As we come out of the base, again, I know what I got to worry about. I got to worry about a torp threat from this Fiji backing out in front of me and dropping torps. Is the last play before he dies, it would be a good play. Like, try to get rid of one big healthy battleship that's been carrying the match. Now, obviously, I know the Leon's over there, so I'm going to use my spotter plane to spot him because he's a battleship. And as soon as my plane gets above the island, he's going to light up. And as soon as he lights up, I've got the shot ready. I take the shot, and are we going to kill him before he gets a shot on us? We get the shot off, we kill him. He gets no shot in return. Fiji does back out in front of us, so we're expecting torpedoes here. And the AP secondaries are going to show you guys how nasty they can be if you give a broadside to this thing in a cruiser. You got to be careful, guys. This thing does not play with AP. And we get the close quarters. So we're just stacking up damage, we're stacking up medals, and that just leaves the Skane and the Scharnhorst who ran all the way around the match. Now, I'm not going to make you guys wait for the next minute and 40 to have this game in. I'm going to just speed it up because nothing else happens. They capture the other base, and then they move in to capture this. We defend it, and we never actually get to shoot any of them. As you can see, 208,000 damage, close quarters, high cal, dev strike, 3 kills, top of the leaderboard, 3,288 base XP. So let me know what you guys think. Is the buffed Nagato worth it? I think it is. It's a solid contender. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.